So the 2018 World Cup is about to kick off, but it doesn't mean that we can't still talk transfers here on United People's TV. So what I'm going to do in this video is run through a few players that we should be keeping a close eye on at the World Cup to see if they're good enough to join Man United this summer. Now, as you can see, lovely new background, but let's get straight into the list. First up is Milinkovic-Savic. The young midfielder from Serbia will literally be playing a central midfield role and will also play a very central role in their games. As you can see here, this is their fixture list. First up for them, they got Costa Rica, 1 p.m. on the 17th of June, UK time. Then on the 22nd of June, they play Switzerland at 7 p.m. And then the big one in their group, 27th of June, they play Brazil at 7 p.m. Now, at 6'4", Milinkovic-Savic is known as the Sergeant. And Mourinho, he loves signing big players, but then he signed Fred, who's like 5'6", Sanchez, who's 5'6". But do Man United need another central midfielder? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. But we've been heavily linked with the move for Milinkovic-Savic this summer. A little quick fact for you. In 2014, we signed a Serbian goalkeeper who went by the name of Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. Now, he signed in 2014, but after a couple of years of failing to get a work permit, he left Manchester United. Now, he is his brother. So, I didn't know that. Found that out today, so I thought I'd let you know that. Next on the list, not because we want to sign him, we've already signed him, but Fred will be in action, hopefully, for Brazil. Obviously, he had a bit of an ankle injury concern before he went into the competition, but he flew out with the squad to Russia. So, fingers crossed he will feature. And it's the same game, well, same dates of games. 17th, they're playing Switzerland. 22nd, they're playing Costa Rica at 1 p.m. And then on the 27th, it will be Milinkovic-Savic's Serbia against Fred's Brazil, 7 p.m. on the 27th. Will either of them feature for their countries? I hope so, because I really want to see Fred in action. I want to see what sort of midfielder he is. I already know, we've watched quite a bit of him since we've signed him, just to see exactly what type of midfielder he is. But I want to see him on the biggest stage in international football. And seeing Milinkovic-Savic in that arena as well will be very interesting to watch. So make sure you check those games out. As well as looking at players like Fred, who we've already signed, or Milinkovic-Savic, who we've been heavily linked with, we already know about Toby Alderweireld. We already know about Danny Rose. We've seen both of them in action loads of times for Spurs in the Premier League. I want to name two players I think we should be maybe keeping a close eye on during the World Cup as well, because we definitely need a new centre-back, and we probably need maybe a backup striker to Romelu Lukaku. We saw Marcus Rashford play there last season. We saw Anthony Martial play there last season. No one really could do it like Lukaku did. And wherever Lukaku was injured or suspended or just out of the team, United's shape completely changed. We were terrible going forward without him. So why not take a look at Timo Werner? Now, he's a 22-year-old German striker, scored 23 goals last season for RB Leipzig. Now, if he has a good World Cup, he could well be on the move this summer. And he's going to be taking that central number 9 role for Germany. And we all know what Germany will do at the World Cup. They'll reach the semi-final. So we're going to see plenty of Werner in action. But in terms of his group stage games, Mexico on the 17th, that's where they kick their World Cup campaign off, 4 p.m. on the 17th. 23rd of June, they play Sweden at 7 p.m. And on 27th of June, they play South Korea at 3 p.m. It'll be very interested to see how Werner plays. He scored plenty of goals last season. Would he be happy to come to United and be a backup to Lukaku? I'm not sure. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. But I think United should be at least on the lookout for a striker this summer. Centre-back, definitely a bigger priority. Left-back, definitely a bigger priority. But it doesn't mean that we can't keep an eye out for other players, including a striker. That's why I'm saying Timo Werner. And if we're looking at spending 50, 60, 70 million pounds on Toby Alderweireld, a 29-year-old from Spurs, then we should definitely be taking a look at Koulibaly. Now, the Senegalese centre-back was sensational last year for Napoli. He's not just a 6'5" powerhouse. He's a very technically gifted centre-back in terms of he's very comfortable in possession, can run out of defence, scores goals too. But Koulibaly, we should certainly be looking at. So I think all United fans should be keeping a close eye on Senegal's games. Their games start on the 19th of June, Poland at 4 p.m. 24th of June, they play Japan at 4 p.m. And on the 28th of June, they play Colombia at 3 p.m. I really want to see what Koulibaly does for Senegal. They've got a cracking team. Obviously, got Mane up front. They've got Koulibaly in defence. They've got a littered with very talented players. So I think Senegal could actually go quite far in this tournament. And if they do, they're going to have to keep clean sheets, and that's where Koulibaly comes in. So I think we should be taking a close eye and looking at Koulibaly, Werner, Milinkovic-Savic, and of course Fred But are there any other players that you think Man United fans should be keeping a close eye on during the World Cup? Let me know in the comments below who you really want to be keeping a close eye on. As always, drop a like on the video and subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. And throughout the World Cup, we're doing plenty of videos looking at maybe if Milinkovic-Savic has a fantastic performance. We'll try and do a video on that. But throughout the World Cup, there'll be random bits of World Cup related content. So make sure you subscribe.